You know, the guy I was telling you about yesterday, Danny Creed, I ordered all three of his books, and so when they come, I'll give them to you. He's an interesting cat. He's even a graduate of Butler. Originally from South Haven and got into the radio business and I have friends that just got through moving from Thornton, Colorado to Little Rock. Yeah. And I said, how'd you settle on Little Rock? Well, I don't know. We just chose Little Rock. Said it was cheaper than Colorado. What's a good word?
I don't know. Working it.
Haircut.
I did. Working in Marion, so I had to bring my clothes with me today.
Oh.
Uh-huh. Got home.
You got a lot longer hair.
I got home the other day after texturing paint. I'm like, cut it off. It's gotta go. It does, yeah. I was looking like an old homeless drywaller.
Yeah.
Are we good to go? Yep. Okay, sorry for running a bit behind. Good afternoon, everybody. It is a little past 4:30. We'll go ahead and call our meeting to order. The Butler Community College Board of Trustees. It is our regular meeting on July 8th, and we'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do we have any amendments to the agenda? If not, would entertain a motion to approve it.
I would move to approve it.
And I'll second.
Trustee Good?
Yes.
Trustee Brungart?
Yeah.
Trustee Jolly?
Yes.
Trustee Rhodes?
Yes.
Trustee Hueslick?
Yes.
Trustee Shearer?
Yes.
Trustee Smith?
Yes.
Hey, they're moving right along. I will turn the floor over to Dr. Daniel. Welcome for recognitions.
Okay, so I'm not sure. Can you hear me? Not sure. I think it's on.
It just speeds away.
Okay. So I'm not sure who's here or who isn't here, but we have a few recognitions this evening. We have a group that went to FBLA, the National Leadership Conference, and we have a couple students, Darla Lee Marla Casimir. No, not here. Well, she was recognized for Emerging Issues Competitor, and she was a finalist in the case competition. And then we also have Matthew Schultz, who also attended FBLA Emerging Business Issues Competitor, 6th place in the Entrepreneur Pitch Competition. And he is not here either. But we have one of our own faculty members. So we have Dr. Noreen Templin here, not here. Okay. None of them are here, but nonetheless, she was recognized for the AEA conference, which is the American Economic Association Conference on Teaching and Researching, and FBLA Collegiate National Leadership Conference for her dedication and professional development at presentations for those conferences. And then finally, Danny Mattern, not here. Dedication to professional development as evidenced by selection to attend the Arise instructor workshop in the Allen Radio Telescope Array. So,
yeah,
congratulations.
Have any public comment? Okay. Anyone here wish to provide public comment? Seeing none, we will move on to the standing reports. Yep. Operational staff. A new face.
It is. I was, about a year ago, maybe, I was voluntold to be vice president, not knowing that it was going to move into president. So here I am.
Welcome.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I guess
Congratulations on your appointment.
on my being voluntoldness. Yes. Op staff, we had our op staff recharge retreat on June 11th. Or excuse me, June 13th. That was our yearly recharge and refresh day that you guys are so graciously allow us to do. We had the theme was the Office TV show, which was very fun. We had it held at Eberly Farms in West Wichita. Dr. Linden gave the welcome first thing that morning. We had some free time out on the farm. Had lunch, and then we had some team building skills or games. We did bingo, puzzle contest, and trivia. So I've been at Butler for 22 years, so I've been to a lot of op staff recharges, and I would say that was probably one of the best ones that I've been to. So I don't know what the consensus was, but it was very good.
Good
many
turnout
chefs?
for it.
I would say we probably had 50 or 60.
Wonderful.
So we had, as president, I'm making a few changes as far as the meetings. I want to get more people involved. So it's been, there's some people that are op staff that are unable to leave their workstation. And so I'm going to start we're going to do Zoom. We've moved it up to 2:00 in the afternoons instead of 3:00 because some people leave at 3. So I just want more involvement. So that's my goal. Our next project that we're working on will be the welcome back tables that we have in the fall for the students that come back. We set up multiple stations here on the El Dorado campus. I believe the service center or McConnell has a spot. And then the Andover campus where we hand out water and snacks for all the incoming new students, give them directions, kind of help calm the deer in the headlights.
Do you know when that will be?
We'll do it the first 2 days of school.
Do you know what that is?
The first 2 days.
19th.
Yeah.
Hey,
Monday, Tuesday of August, 18th and 19th.
18th and 19th.
So it's kind of fun. I
It
always
is.
work in the 1500 building, even, I help guide and direct when I was working in the 1500 building. And it's very fun to kind of see and help guide some of those students to their classrooms and stuff. So more than welcome to come and help. So it's kind of fun seeing the new students. Any questions?
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Carrie.
I don't see Camille Freeman, and it's summertime, so I don't. Let's move on. Board Finance Committee, Linda or Dave, anything to share?
Well, everything is kind of going into year end and not all of the numbers are in and finalized. I think they're wanting to finalize them tomorrow is the goal. So there's really nothing to report. That's solid to report.
Foundation Board, I also don't have anything to report. We had a meeting our last meeting was in May. The next one is going to be in August, but it's going to be after our August meeting. So really the next update will be September. Is that right, Tom? Okay. President's report.
So first, I just want to take a moment and just let everybody know how much I appreciate my first couple of weeks has been fantastic here. It's been such a warm welcome. I mean, the insights that people have shared with me have been extremely beneficial, and you've really made me feel at home. The VP staff I've worked with really closely the last couple of weeks, as well as getting out in the community and visiting, with quite a few people, but it's been fantastic. And I really appreciate that. I do feel at home. I feel comfortable and I'm excited to be here. So I definitely wanted to say that, but to give you an idea of some of the things that have happened. So my first 2 days, the 23rd and 24th, were National Center for Apprenticeship Degrees. And of course, one of my really good friends from Arkansas. I just felt like that was amazing for her to be here for those 2 days. We haven't seen each other in a while, and we've actually tried to plan to get together, but to have her facilitating was just fantastic. But I also really think that the National Center for Apprenticeship Degrees and the Apprenticeship Degree Initiative in Kansas is going to give us a lot of opportunity. It's a little bit longer range, it takes a couple years to go through the process and get everything up and going, but I really feel like this has a lot of promise for community colleges in general. It was a great meeting. I got to meet a lot of people from the area and also Wichita there at that meeting. But the apprenticeship degrees, really it's about ABC, which A is affordable degrees. B, based in the workplace, and C, credit for learning, earn while you learn, and that model is phenomenal for community colleges. I really feel like we have a lot of opportunities. They've done work in healthcare, in education. Clearly, the ones that most people have started with are the constructions, electrical, plumbing apprenticeships as well. But you can expand it to just about every single area. There are so many opportunities. And I do think that has the opportunity to change some of the focus of community college and have a whole new arm that we're not used to having right now. And the bottom line is Kansas is behind it. KBOR is behind it. They're supporting it. So I do look forward to working with NCAD and our institutional, employees inside to help make that a stronger pathway for students. Outside of that, I also think an interesting one was the following Friday, I had, they called it the Greater Wichita Partnership Education Industry Executive Roundtable. It was a mouthful, but the bottom line, it was at the Innovation Center at Wichita State. Beautiful facility, but it was all about bringing industry and education together to look at our pathways and how do we provide the labor workforce, what's missing, what do we need. KBOR was there, we were represented by them, had a chance, quite a bit of chance to talk to other people. The John Rolfe, the Wichita Chamber president, was there, as well as John Rolfe. KBOR, he was KBOR. He's just recently stepped down. He's Homegrown Thrive, CEO, to focus more on that. But I had great conversations with both of them, and that also has helped me start to learn the landscape and shape, what was going on. So that was fantastic. I have been to the Wichita Chamber with John Rolfe there and completed my onboarding for the board seat that's there. So I will be sitting on the board for that. At the same time, just as a coincidence, because he saw the Butler car, but Senator Marshall stopped in and interrupted the meeting and said, "Can I come in? I saw the Butler car there. I wanted to see who that was. Is the new president here?" "Oh, yeah, she is." So we had a long conversation. So that was nice. So I've gotten to meet and greet a lot of different people in different circles. I had a great meeting with David Dillinger and Jennifer Davis, El Dorado superintendent. We have had some long conversations about the stadium and what we need to do in terms of a little bit longer term sustainability for the stadium, and also some opportunities that possibly we could have to partner with the community to utilize the stadium a little bit more. So lots of great conversations. Tom's been very gracious. I've already started meeting donors. They are fantastic. Love to have those conversations, and just people in the community in general. I intend to spend more time in the community. Jennifer's done a great job keeping my schedule on track so that I can get around to the outside, but also the inside college as well. I plan on attending some of the Dean's Council meetings, admin council, and, I just have to integrate and get to know people here. But so far, it's been a great experience, and I really have enjoyed what I'm doing. It's fun, it's energizing. I see so much promise, and I am able already to connect a lot of the dots. And like I said, the staff and everybody I've met has been fantastic. So I really appreciate that. The one order of business I think we do have to do is look at the date for the Daniel White environmental scan. And I have been given a couple dates, 3 dates that I think you can choose from for the trustees, and that is August 18th, the 21st, and the 25th. But we kind of need to poll a little bit and see if we can nail down a date there.
One more time, 18.
18th, August 18th, 21, or 25.
Okay.
Right. Do we think we'll have a need for the work session otherwise? Is there
Good
something we'd
question.
be foregoing if we just convert the work session to the scan?
Works for me.
I'm good. Whatever you decide.
18th, 25th works. Mm-hmm.
I think it'll work for me too. I'm watching the paper calendar at home, so I'll have to trip next, but I can't think of it.
Linda, you look like you're consternating over your
pondering.
calendar.
25th is fine. I'd rather that than other evenings.
There we go.
All right,
It's easy.
that's all I have.
It is. Okay.
What time does that kick off?
4, okay. I gotta change that.
Jennifer, would you send an email out tomorrow? Just, yeah, because we'll probably want to schedule, run to 8, 4 to 8, go. Thank you, Dr. Daniel. Educational facilities report. We had a short meeting last month. Dave helped me. I think the only action item was the board approved an increased spending limit for the 3
The 3
owners.
administrators.
Yeah, the administrators, so that they weren't tied to making decisions every 3 months when the board meets.
Yeah.
Was there anything else of note?
That's it.
Okay.
And we were supposed to have a meeting, but since there wasn't anything to meet about, we're not having a meeting.
Those are my kind of meetings. Okay, that's it for our standing reports. We'll move on to our monitoring report for this month. That should be in the book, Dr. Cover. Oh.
Yeah, I will
Plane's
correct this
causing
again.
problems.
I told Jennifer, I'm not a doctor, so I just want to say that I'm not a doctor. I will make sure that's not on there next year. But
Honorary.
I wish it worked out. So, any questions for me? Well, usually what I do.
I did have one on page 18. What's the teaching classes with NASA? Is there any more info on?
That's what Danny has been doing, and so it's the stuff that he learns. Like she acknowledged him today. Danny Mattern has done different projects with NASA, so he's been to all but one NASA site here in the United States. So it's just various things. Each year, it's a kind of a different topic. This year, I think it was radio astronomy. So he goes, does some professional development activities, comes back and can use those in his classroom, but also with students that they have as part of one of their programs. They've been different programs. Sure. So.
I think we were told about this last month, and I'll kind of own my forgetfulness. STEM is now SEM.
Yes.
Okay. Where did
We
the T,
split into
where did the T
S-
go?
Where'd the T go?
Yeah.
The T went back to career and technical education.
Okay.
Oh,
So Dr. Linden and Derek Faust are over career and technical education, and then I'm over science, engineering, and math.
Okay.
So,
so we went from STEM to SIM.
yeah, this is our second year for it, though.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
terrible. Oh, well, you didn't have to point that.
Well, it was kind of weird because for a while I was interim dean for CTE and SEM. So I probably did both of them for a while. And so it probably still felt like STEM, but I think it's been 2 years. I can't remember.
Okay.
So feels like it's been 100 years, but I think it's only been 2. I've been doing the same thing for 8 years. Didn't matter what my title was, didn't matter what the division was called. I've managed science, engineering, and math for 8 years. So.
Shannon, I have a question.
Mhm.
Enrollment's going down in all areas, it looks like. What are you doing and your department to build that up?
It's a lot of it's a scheduling issue. And so we try to adjust the schedule as we can. Some of it is just students. Well, it's mostly scheduling, I would say. And that's the biggest thing that I can do. There's not a lot as far as, and are you talking about like credit hours? Or are you talking about programs? I don't have a tremendous
Looks
number of
like
programs.
program.
Yeah, most people do not want to be chemistry majors, math majors, biology majors. They want to be some of those other areas. And so, and we've made a lot of modifications to the different degree programs over the last couple of years. So hoping to maybe streamline some of those processes. And I think it's been this is our second year, I think, of the biology department trying to oversee some of those, like pre-vet and some of those programs. So, but scheduling is my biggest challenge.
Tell me what that is like.
Scheduling.
Give us an example.
Well, for me, it's having science classes at multiple campuses. Math isn't as big of a challenge as it is the science classes. It's hard to have classes that will fill at 3 or 4 campuses. So when we did the split for physics, and it's great for students because a lot of our students want classes in Andover, but when we did the split to move classes to Andover, then that's declined our enrollment in El Dorado and a lot of those science classes, because if they can get in Andover, they're not going to drive to El Dorado. And so we've just seen a decline, especially in physics and physical science, with the classes that we offer face-to-face in El Dorado. We don't have that pool of students from Andover to come over and take those classes. They can take those classes in Andover, and then they can even take the off-sequence physics classes in McConnell. So it sounds great when you expand labs and space, but the reality is it really can actually hurt your enrollment, because now I can't have a class that has 4 students in it here for the students that need it. And I don't have enough students I can pull from another location to fill it.
So you're saying 4 students to a class here in El Dorado?
There are times when that's where it's sitting, yes. And so I have to cancel that class. So those students either don't get to take that class or they have to drive to Andover to take it.
Okay.
So
So instructor wise, we're going to stay the same in departments?
actually, I had, let's see, 3 retirees, and I had 3 retirees? I had 3 retirees, and we lost Lindsay.
Mhm.
And the only, I replaced one of the math retirees and I replaced Lindsay. So, actually I've let positions go for the
Mhm.
last probably 4 years with retirements. That's probably going to have to slow down. I'm not going to be able to manage that, moving forward, especially in math and with the changes coming with math. But it's just been, the enrollment hasn't been there. So I'm not going to try to keep positions and try to keep credit hours for people just because I've got a full-time position. I've been fortunate. We've had retirees, and so I haven't had to actually disinvest in any people that have had a
Mhm.
job. But so I think at least 7, 8 positions in the last 3 years.
And when do you cancel a class? What's the minimum?
That's a tricky question. We like 10. But if we have a class and there's a student and they need it to graduate for that semester, we will reevaluate that situation and see if that class needs to go. We don't want to cancel a class if that's their only option and that's what's getting them to complete their degree. The other thing is with the math modules, the first 5-week class may have that 10, but if it's sequential and they have to pass each one, you might see a decline when it's the second or the third 5 weeks. And for me, if it's a face-to-face class, I have committed to that for that student. And so just because some of those students aren't able to successfully complete that sequence, I don't typically cancel a face-to-face class. Online, I will, because that's a different option. I can move them to another class or another section. They're not losing that class. But I do make a commitment to students in those modules to have a face-to-face class for the entire 15 weeks.
Thank you.
Other questions?
Thank you much.
Mhm.
Moving into our strategic discussion items, the first one is on page 21 of the board book and deals with the Forvis tool. Dr. Daniel?
So I've had a chance to spend some time with Aiden and Forvis and talk internally with staff in Christina's area and in Aiden's area and Jessica's area. We've talked quite a bit, and I do believe we have the capacity to build out internally, but we do have access to all the 2024 data in Forvis. So we are able to utilize that this year as we're going forward. That's the best we can do anyway, because it's always going to give a year lag. But as we build out, we will get more strategic data that is real time. So we actually could look at the end of 25 and 25 once we get it built out. So it'll actually be a little bit more advantageous to us to Forvis, but Forvis will be very helpful and we will be able to access it this academic year even though, we're not paying for it this year. We have 1 year lag because we cut it off, I guess, is April, is that right, Kent? Yeah. Cut it off in April, so we have access to this data for a year. So that works as kind of a win-win for us. So if for some reason we don't have everything built out, we can consider that at that point in time, but I feel like we will. I mean, staff's already working on some of the things that, I've requested. They've already got a good start on. And so I felt like we've got the capacity to be able to do it. So kind of excited about that.
My only concern is that we aren't dependent on just one or two people. In other words, if we lose Aiden, for instance, because I know he was mentioned quite a bit in regard to the program, I don't want to find out then that, oh gosh, we're so far behind and we can't do this. So are we going to be in a situation like that?
I don't think that Argos puts us in that situation. And the reason is because these reports are built and they're kind of put on a dashboard. So once they're built, they're done and you have them forever and you can access them. So say I have a report that is built and it's giving me it doesn't matter what the information is. It's giving me a certain amount of information in real time out of the system. And I want to see the exact same report a month from now, 3 months from now, 2 years from now. All I do is change the dates and put it in, it pulls it out. So the programming and the back end work is already done. So this works forever,
And then, one of the things that we were impressed by when we visited with you during interviews was the fact that you did do a lot of analysis of information.
Mhm.
Do you feel like all the reports that you're going to need are built?
Right now, they're not built. They
Okay.
absolutely aren't built, but
And
we have
that's-
already started building them. I've already had team meetings and we've started with what I consider to be the most important, which is enrollment-based actionable reports and some other back-end data in terms of just good functioning information for the college in terms of scheduling and classes.
My only thought is just, although it's a nice savings, $20,000 compared to so many of the things we spend money on
Not a lot.
isn't very
Right.
much.
I agree with you.
So I don't want us to be in a situation where we try to save $20,000 only to have a great big mess to clean up at some point.
No, that totally makes sense. And I think we've talked about that a little bit and the latest conversations, and correct me if I'm wrong, but the way we're looking at it is we can always take and reactivate it at the end of the year if we feel like we're not where we need to be and we still need that tool to help us get where we need to be.
But we understood that we have to do the inputs. So
Absolutely.
Could we address this in February, March?
Absolutely. And see where we are. Sure.
Maybe Bill, I mean, I would rather just pay 20 grand half for an additional year. Because, I mean, if trustees or anybody want to go look at the data, we would have the right to go look at it
Sure.
ourselves.
Well, I can't
And
count
not
the
have-
times that we've been told to not overburden people with having to compile data.
Mhm.
So I don't know why we'd want to get rid
Repeatedly
of it.
repeatedly of not asking.
Right.
for-
Yeah, so I was
for-
like, getting rid of the thing that helps with data doesn't really kind of.
Well, there is some additional burden because we've got to compile the data to give it to Fortis,
Right.
which would be avoided to the extent we're using our existing systems to do it internally. There's a time savings in that element.
My understanding, they do our audit, so they get all of our data every year, so they. Really?
There's actually a lot of work that we do in providing them iterations of the different data sources. So our funding, our class sizes, different financial components. And then there's a lot of back and forth to review the logic each year and make refinements to that. So we have spent over the past several cycles of this, a lot of time working with Fortis. So that work would be redirected internally. And once we do the initial build, it should be a lot smoother.
But I think it's fair, to your point and your questions, if there is, some specific things that you're wanting, I think we could build those and be able to access them anytime we want.
You're comfortable with that.
Uh,
And the
uh,
people that are having to do it are comfortable.
I just don't want to get to where we were, where we want data. You can't have data without a story, which I don't expect that stuff to happen again, but it was very frustrating. When I first arrived, it's like, wait. Sometimes a year or two to get what you're really looking for.
We just want push the button.
Yeah, yeah. Just more transparency, more availability. But if we could touch base in February on it before the other one down, that'd be great. That'll be a different board. Works really different. I mean, around 3, 4.
3.
Be mostly the same.
Any other comments, questions on Tortoise? If not, we'll move on to the quarterly update on the open records requests. I will note just for the record that I don't know who the roads person is that requested an auto accident report. Spelled the same, but not me.
I didn't have a question. That was my only question, actually.
The meeting's still young. Okay, we'll then move into our third item is the strategic marketing agency of record. I don't know, Kelly or Tom, is that one? Yes, okay.
Hello, yes, the agency of record, it is basically, just to tell you a little bit about it, it's basically just a notice that the agency sends to the media. Until further notice, letting the media know that at that agency is in the designation to purchase and place media on behalf of the institute. So we entered into an agreement or this notice with Armstrong Chamberlain, formerly Armstrong Chamberlain and now AC Strategic Marketing. And that was 2019 already. And then COVID happened. And so we're going back and went, okay, so we'd like to we wanted to let you know, we've re-upped our notice of agency of record with AC Strategic Marketing for this next year. And then overlapping into that, we will reopen for an RFP process and review and do a full review and kind of reset for the next period of time where we would use an agency to buy primarily local media. And they do connect us with some additional digital resources when we find the need.
And what's our compensation to Armstrong?
It's $1,000 and they have not increased their rate since 2019. So it's $1,000 retainer for the month and they are available to me for anything I need. When they step in and they've helped us do digital, it's $750 for digital eyes on it and digital reporting. And then there's a one-time during the year, a $2,500 strategic planning. We just spend several hours together and we just kind of plan out and discuss the ins and outs of media is always changing in Wichita and contacts and plans and technologies.
So when we go further in the agenda and you're talking about the 3 months at 107,000, those fees are included.
Okay, that's what my question was. I think it got misplaced in the book.
You do.
Well, it's on page 38 and we're on page 24 and 25.
I think we're just this is a discussion item right now. It
Uh-huh.
doesn't require the board to take action.
Okay.
There's
Yeah. And then the other one is action. Yeah.
Thank you.
Any other questions or comments on the AC Strategic Marketing Agency of Record? Okay, thank you, Kelly. Moving on to our action items, TC's retirement. Shelley, do you want to take that? Or Bill? Okay.
TC was here for 38 years. He was an athletic trainer when he started in 1987. Steve Bratt found him when he was a trainer for the Chiefs. He was here as a trainer from 87 to 03. And then in 03, Curtis Hammocky left as the athletic director and TC took over. Since he's been here, they built the Champions Training Center with all private donations. He was a key in helping identify fundraising for the stadium. We've had like 7 national championships in athletics, 3 in football, 2 in softball, and 2 in the half marathon. So we've been very successful under his leadership. And after 38 years, he's decided to retire. So we move on. And he's done a great job.
With that, I'll move that the Board of Trustees recommends that the board accept the resignation a retirement notice for Todd Carter with our gratitude for the 38 years served.
Second,
Trustee Good,
yes.
trustee Brongart, trustee Jolly,
Yes.
trustee Rhodes,
Yes.
trustee Hueslick,
Yes.
trustee Shearer,
Yes.
trustee Smith.
Yes.
That's all.
You still gotta wait for
That
that.
passes 7-0. Next action item is the culmination of our negotiations, which at least in the 6 years that I've been on the board, this is by far the earliest, I think, that we've been able to address this. Shelley, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you. And thank you for allowing this to go so smoothly as well. And the good conversations that we had helped that go quickly and certainly was helped us expedite what we needed to get done. So thank you to all of you. We did come to an agreement in June before Dr. Vietti left. That was, a condition. She didn't want to strap you with that, Tamara. So So we did come to an agreement with the faculty and they did send out that agreement for ratification. I learned today that they have not got their 51 votes or 51% of the votes needed to ratify. Camille said she does feel like it will be ratified. It's just a matter of getting everybody. Now, this is summertime. Teachers are off contract. They don't really look at email very often. So we'll try and give them some understanding about that. I do feel that this is a very good contract. And I put together the actual summary of the outcomes with the bargaining process for you. And a lot of those, we had discussed some of those in work session or in an exec session. So I would hope that this is something that looked familiar to you when you read through it. So I'll ask if you have any questions that need clarification with this summary. These are the changes that will go into the 25-26 master agreement that we contract with the faculty for. So all of these items are changes that are being made to that contract in agreement with speaking with you all and the faculty coming to that negotiated agreement. So today, what I'll be asking you for is an acceptance of this agreement of the items to be changed for the master agreement, which includes raises for the faculty, advisors, and the counselors under the Professional Employee Association, as well as different items being added language-wise to the master agreement. So we don't have to be fully ratified by the faculty to have the board accept this master agreement. If for some reason they do not ratify, you have ratified this contract in acceptance, and we will go from there to decide how we actually take this a bit further. Do we take it as a unilateral contract or do we negotiate further? I don't think that'll be necessary. I feel very confident in this contract. So what I'm asking you to do is approve this master agreement contract for 25-26. Yes.
Shelley,
Mhm.
is the adjunct pay 8:30 an hour then?
8:30 a credit hour as well.
Okay.
Yes. Mhm.
Thank you.
You're very welcome.
Mr. Chairman. I move that the Board of Trustees ratify the final package as outlined and as soon to be ratified by the professional employees.
I will second.
Trustee Good,
Yes.
trustee Brongart.
Yeah.
Trustee Jolly,
Yes.
trustee Rhodes,
Yes.
trustee Hueslick,
Yes.
trustee Shearer,
Yes.
trustee Smith.
Yes.
Thank you
That
very,
passes
very
7-0.
much.
Shelley, thank you again. for
Yes.
All your work and all the work of the negotiation team.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shelley.
This done.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
And I guess thanks also to the faculty team. I mean,
Yes.
it was a cooperative process, which
It-
for so many years,
Yes.
we haven't had those. So
I agree. It
That's
very much
important.
was. It was very, very, it was comfortable and informal, but yet at the same time, we were able to get a lot of things done, even though we didn't agree on everything. We were able to come to agreement and I'm thankful for that. And this is the second time since I've been here in the 8 years that we've been able to have a contract ready to go August 1st when the faculty come back to work. So, so we're excited about that.
do you have is there an internal drop dead by when the faculty need to have officially ratified it for you to
Well-
be able to do what you have to do in making pay changes and benefit changes?
Yes.
Is the association aware of that?
Yes, yes. Yeah. So I hope that we start open enrollment for benefits the second week of August. And so that's a part of it. So that definitely needs to be in there.
So when is the drop dead date
I would say by the end of this month.
of July?
Yeah, the end of July. For them, yes.
Mhm. Thank you.
Yes, of course.
But Shelley, you get to keep the floor.
Yes, I'll
You got the-
keep going if you don't mind. So the second part of this then is to ask for the raises to be also provided for the non-faculty or non-professional employee group at the same amount as the negotiated rate for the faculty, which is 3%. This also includes the adjuncts who are non-faculty, or sorry, they're faculty, but they're part-time faculty and not included under the negotiating agreement. So we take that overload and summer school pay of $830, and that's also our adjunct rate. Traditionally, that's how that's been set forth. So, and then the third item that is also negotiated is the amount of the board's contribution for the health insurance, health and dental program insurance each year. And we had agreed that based on what we have been told by our broker for what our renewal is going to come in at, it's going to be a little bit lower than it was last year. Amazing.
Can't believe
So,
it.
right. So we felt like it was very apropos at this time to go ahead and leave it status quo with the board having no update to out of additional budget being assigned for health insurance and no additional cost involved for premiums for the employees. So that's a real breather for them as well. Right. So what I'm asking is also for you to approve this motion to go forward to approve the raises, the adjunct rate, and for the health insurance rates.
So if the professional contract isn't approved, then the adjuncts and so forth, they go ahead and get the raise, right?
That is correct, Linda. Yes. And the raises for the non-faculty go into effect July 1. So time is of the essence.
Yes.
Okay, so I move that the Board of Trustees recommend the approval of salary and health insurance increases for staff employees and part-time faculty for the fiscal year ending June 30, 2026, as presented.
Second.
I have one question.
Yes, of course.
This is a per month, even if they only work 9 months a year, it's still per month, this is what our contribution.
Yes, it's over. Yeah, we pay them through for 12 months and it's taken out each month. Yes.
Trustee Good,
Yes.
trustee Brongard.
Yeah.
Trustee Jolly,
Yes.
trustee Rhodes,
I will abstain based on my wife's employment.
trustee Hueslick,
Yes.
trustee Shear,
Yes.
trustee Smith.
Yes.
And if I may say one more thing, just one more comment for your thoughts. We will have IMA come and kind of show you a recap of where we ended the year. Okay. And then also we did go ahead and do marketing for what we call an unbundled self-funded plan. Right now, we're all bundled up with Blue Cross Blue Shield, and that includes our pharmacy manager, and that includes the stop loss insurance and all of our claims management. And we can't pull those pieces apart when you're with Blue Cross. What you can do is unbundle, and you'd have a different TPA, third-party administrator. It wouldn't be Blue Cross. And then they would then farm out all of these things. So you can kind of pick and choose which vendors you're going to use for stop loss, which vendor you're going to use for your pharmacy benefit manager. And that's a way that you can help reduce your overall costs. So we did have them go ahead and market that. We wanted to get that done to see if that was a viable option for us. But since we didn't have an increase this year, we decided to stay flat with Blue Cross because of no increase and allow this to play out. And then we'll look at all the marketing and see if we feel comfortable going there next year for our next benefit year. So we are going to present that. I was looking at August as an opportunity to have IMA come into our work session, but we've just devoted that to something very important. So we'll look at another opportunity for them to come and share that detail with you. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you
Okay,
very much.
thanks, Shelley. Next item for action is the notice of intent to exceed the revenue neutral rate. Kent, you want to take the floor?
Yes, at the April 28th work session, we did present you with a preliminary budget recommendation to keep the mill levy the same for FY26 as for FY25. And in order to do that, we would need for you to tonight pass the intent to exceed the revenue neutral rate. And basically, this allows us to take advantage of the growth in valuation of the county. And so the form is there in the book, and the motion is there as a recommendation. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
I guess just to, I know we've done this before. The final decision on whether and to what extent we accept the valuation increase would not occur until the meeting in September, the public hearing.
Right, that's correct. The public hearing in September. At the August board meeting, we will need for you to approve the notice of public hearing, and then in September, approve the actual budget.
So are we going to discuss the budget about the $600,000 tuition?
What do you want to discuss?
So that's a plus.
There's a plus.
And how do you feel about it, Ken?
I think that's great that we were able to get our enrollment up and get that additional revenue for the college. In my opinion, and the administration, we discussed this, we're not changing our recommendation. Even with that increased revenue, we still, with the assumptions that we've made in the budget that we've showed you, dollar, YE 26, and as we projected it out, mainly due to the fact that we're not counting on any increase in state aid in 27, we're looking at potentially a $1.5 million deficit of budget. That's with taking this valuation increase. If we were to forego it, we would have that much more of a hill to climb.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
You haven't quite heard enough out of me for 6 years, so I'm just gonna vote no and leave it with that.
Well,
Don't
then I'll
break
make
your
the
record.
motion, I guess. I move that the Board of Trustees approve the notice of revenue neutral rate intent as presented to exceed the revenue neutral rate with a proposed rate of 13.239 mils, with the revenue neutral rate hearing to be held here in the Welcome Center in El Dorado on September 9th, 2025 at 4:30 p.m.
Do we have a second? Do we have a second on that motion? Second.
Trustee Good,
Yes.
trustee Brungart,
No.
trustee Jolly,
Yes.
trustee Rhodes,
Yes,
trustee Hueslick,
Yeah.
trustee Shearer,
Yes.
trustee Smith.
No.
that passes 5-2.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
Jennifer has the form. I will need you to sign that so I can get it down to the county clerk tomorrow.
that right now.
Thank you.
Moving on, I think the final topic for action is the June to September advertising expense. So Don't wanna. Back up.
So, we wanted to bring for the board, the planned spending for July, August, September, for this current budget year, and then I'll bring back the media plan for September to the end of June. To keep you up to speed on our expenditures. So right there, we're not looking to exceed 107. And, that gives us, as far as relative, that's a mild spend. That's not anything too crazy. I would consider that mild, pretty moderate to mild, yeah.
Is this part of what's already been
It's,
budgeted for marketing?
yep, it's all standard stuff. We're just,
Not in addition. to what-
no, nope. It's, funds are allocated and we go in and we lay it out across. Throughout the year, so July, August, September are, a little milder, and then we're gonna ramp it up a little bit. And we kind of gauge the middle of the year a little bit, but then we come in heavier typically in the March to June timeframe.
And in our proposed budget that we have right now, we have reduced the advertising
Mm-hmm,
by,
144,000.
okay. And then, because there's not any other place to make a comment, I do want to make a comment about our advertising for culinary.
Mm-hmm.
I drive one way to work and sometimes another way home, and on the way to work, WSU Tech is advertising culinary, and on the way home we are. And
On a two-sided digital billboard or
on a
something?
digital billboard.
Okay.
Okay, so the comment I want to make is you're driving fast when that happens. Okay, you've got a chef or someone in WSU Tech on one, and we've got big Redler on the other. And if you don't know what Redler is, then you don't have time to figure out that it's culinary. And
Okay.
I just make that as
Yeah.
an observation.
No, that's good. That's good to know.
So,
Is it the same board?
one's WSU's board and one's ours.
Yeah.
But as I said, the two different routes that I go, but it just hit me one day. I thought, well, you know what that is, but if you didn't know what Redler was,
Okay.
then you don't know that
Yeah.
that's the culinary. Group. So just a comment.
Okay, no, I appreciate
Linda, are
that.
you talking about the video board that's in front of the Redler Institute or an actual dedicated billboard?
Just
that
a
we
billboard, I think.
Billboard that changes.
Yep.
And they change fast and you're driving fast. And like I said, there's no visual that tells you that's culinary. And even if it says, whatever it says, you're not catching it because you've got this big Redler and you don't have time for the rest.
Mm-hmm.
So
Okay.
just.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
I kind of have the same, I'll see the summer classes, blah, 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 even just on a static billboard. But then it's super small, butler. It would look good in print, but maybe not as good.
Not translating at 70 miles an hour. I get it. Okay, no, I
For this-
appreciate
For this
that.
topic, I would like to see some return on investment
Mhm.
information, because we had our, simplifying, but our
Mhm.
budget was 400 grand and we went to 70 something. Now we're dropping back some and our students increased 4%, but that can't all be attributed to our doubling the marketing budget, not quite. So I would like to see exactly how much we're spending versus bringing in this. I think even if you took the 4% increase versus the 300 some thousand, 2 years in a row of additional spending, it's kind of a wash. Now we're backing off a little bit. I'd like to see, just black and
Yep.
white what that.
How it's all playing out. And we have been doing, with the clusters, we've been taking the academic programs and we've put them into 12 different clusters so that we're not marketing over, we can't market over 100 programs at any one time. And that actually is, it's new because you have to go after the people in that cluster, who are interested in that. So you look at marketing, accounting, business, and that psychology of that potential student versus the diesel, the auto, welding, completely different avenues on where you would find them, reach them, get them to engage. So we're actually getting, it's new information because we haven't really, we've had the fall campaign, spring, summer, short term, summer plus when we did that. But this is diving down deeper and we're starting to learn what it costs to get to that culinary student versus up here doing summer, fall. That's the cheap way, right? So you get down into finding the welder and the culinary kid and it can get expensive. They all operate differently. There's cluster, all the psychologies shop differently, engage differently. So that's the learning phase that we're going through right now and trying to collect that information and peel back the onion a little bit.
I tell you, we need to get Ben, is it Ben McAdoo that was the early college academy graduate that also got a welding certificate, and he made the comment at early college academy that he was starting a 6-figure job June 1st. Oh, has it?
It's
Okay.
Hurdle, I think it was Hurdle, yeah. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yes, thank you. Yeah, no, great story,
Yeah.
great story.
So are you ready for a motion? Or did we already make one?
No,
No, we
no
don't have a
motion
motion
yet.
yet, so go right ahead.
Would like to request the board approve the College Relations and Marketing Purchasing Authority of $107,000 for July 2025 to September 2025. And I think above it says not to exceed for advertising expenses and public relations services.
Second.
Trustee Good,
Yes.
trustee Brongart. Trustee Bromley,
Yes.
trustee Rhodes,
Yes,
trustee Hueslick,
Yes.
trustee Shearer,
Yes.
trustee Smith.
No.
that passes 6-1. Would entertain a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
I move that we approve the consent agenda as presented.
Second.
Trustee Good,
Yes.
trustee Brongart, trustee Jolly,
Yes.
trustee Rhodes,
Yes.
trustee Hueslick,
Yes.
trustee Shearer,
Yes.
trustee Smith.
No, and to clarify, it's only because of EA. I didn't want to pull that out. Have separate. Talk about shouldn't pull that.
Of what?
EA, I don't agree with that, so that's my voting on consent. Didn't want to pull that in discussion.
Okay, that passes 6-1. Supplemental information begins on page 220.
I would just say this information is the same as was presented last month and just entertain any questions.
Thank you, Aiden. Any questions?
I do appreciate it's in color.
Yeah.
It does, it kind of translates better for us older eyes anyway.
Think that's Dr. Daniel, anything in the calendar that we need to be specifically noting?
I would call attention to the October 15th or 16th, Tom, for the inauguration. 16th. Yes, Thursday, October 16th.
Will you send it again?
I sure will.
Thank you.
May I ask one question?
Of course.
We talked about this Bobcat last month. Can somebody give us, not tonight, but just send us an update of what we finally did and the cost? Okay, thank you.
What time is installation of our new president?
It'll be at
Says
3 o'clock.
3.
We do have an exec session before we get to go home this evening. If someone would like to move us in there, the language is on page 226. Any changes to that?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board recess into executive session for discussion relating to non-elected personnel, which if discussed in open session might violate their right to privacy, to include the Board of Trustees and Dr. Tamara Daniel. The meeting will resume within 60 minutes.
Trustee Good,
Yes.
trustee Brongart, Trustee Jolly.
Yes.
Trustee Rhodes.
Yes.
Trustee Hueslick.
Yes.
Trustee Shearer.
Yes.
Trustee Smith.
Yes.
Okay, thanks. All that passes 7-0. As we've done before, we'll note the actual time that we get started as well as the time back out in the record when we come out. Thanks for everyone for being here. There is no other action items on the agenda after this, so the plan